To Calgary's Wild Rose MX Park we go in the lovely Jen. First MX2 Moto, Jimmy Dakota's whole shot. Big line off the off-camber. Benoit into the top three. Big pass for third, that's Dylan Wright. Dakotas takes the first win. Second Moto, Dakotas gets the whole shot in the Triple Crown, but Benoit gets in front early. He takes the win and grabs the overall red plate into Regina. Welcome to round 4 of the 2015 Rockstar Energy Drink Motocross Nationals. This is Moto Valley Raceway just outside of Regina, Saskatchewan. Brian Coster and Mark Travers in the booth as we get set for MX2 Racing, which will be presented by Motovan.com. Fabs, boys on the line with their gate picks back to a dirt start from 2 concrete ones. I think they're enjoying that.
Yeah, definitely a great facility, a long chute here. They till this dirt up real nice. It's been a real wet Regina leading up to this event, but some sun, but mixed weather reviews, so it's a mixed bag today.
Babs, let's get caught up with the points after 3 of 10 rounds. You're looking at your top 5, Benoit Medaglia, Dakotas, Nodden, and Berger. Nice to see Berger up there. We get a nice little cluster in the top 5.
Yeah, and Moffenbauer there, he's struggling a little bit, just back with some crashes. Wright's been strong. Blake Savage, expecting big things from him. Rarick and Petruska round out the top 10.
All right, Babs, riders going out on parade, of course. Top 5 in points go out first, and then they send out everybody in the order which they qualified. I think what's interesting about this is that because of the conditions now, riders are going to want to get out and see that track today just to see how it's changed from qualifying into setting up for the first moto.
Yeah, lots of maintenance has been done here. Stu McQueen out on the dozer and the watering crews have been taking care of it. It's a nice overview of the track. You can see the skies a little ominous. This is the top, more supercross type obstacles, flat, really nice for the spectators to get a handle on it. Then we move out to these valleys, Travs, and it is up and down, high-speed thrills and spills. Right in there is the Motul GP section. The riders really get some high speed on this racetrack.
Now this track is going to be spectacular compared to last year. What's this? Oh, Rockstar Maddie, hello there. Racing action next. Welcome back to Regina's Moto Valley Raceway. First MX2 Moto has been red flagged. Jared Petruska went down in the start. He's okay, Brian. He actually got up and I think he's concussed, but they're actually going to take all the precautions, get him off the track, and give him a good once-over before they take him off to the hospital. But Jared Petruska is going to be okay, and we're going to get this first MX2 Moto underway. And here comes Rockstar Christie, bringing that 30 board out to Sir Paul Kingsley. We talked about that long start straight there, Brian. This first MX2 Moto will be brought to you by Pro Circuit Performance Pipes and Suspension. Choice of champions. There's Amber bringing that Moto 1 board across. Sir Paul with his watch up. 30 board is up, and here's a great shot of our riders on the line. We talked about that dirt start. Very important. The riders love to get that fast jump out on that dirt start.
Yeah, but you can see that piece of board behind their rear wheel. They have not given these riders much room. When the gate drops, there's only a couple of inches, so it is tight, tight, tight. The girl's running off. It is a right-hander, so it's hard for these guys to modulate that back brake. Travers down the chute. Up shifts they go. Looks like Kevin Benoit, the #1 world distributing hold. Yeah!
Nice start for Benoit on that 2-stroke. Looks like the number 620 checkpoint Yamaha. Brad not in second place as we go on board 762 of Blake Savage. What a great start for Savage. Oh, Rarick's got some issues on the inside.
Ooh, Rarick got in to the rider in front of him. Soil sampling on that 2-stroke Redemption KTM. And Moffenbauer, not a great start there. The number 14, he's mired back a bit.
The 153 of Gallup on the KTM looks like he's in the top 5. And I saw the 56 amateur plate of Brio on his left, so a good start for that amateur. He was super fast yesterday.
Well, our helmet cam is on board with Blake Savage, Devil's Lake rider, who did really well last week in Calgary. We'll see if he can pick off a few more guys. But up front, Brad Nodden, another great start for the GA Checkpoint Yamaha.
The Nadito has been spectacular in starts, and he's got the 105 Jimmy Dakotas FXR Yamaha on the inside through that off-camber section. Wow, Dakota's got on the gas on the inside, so dying for him. Getting back to Savage. Remember, he had that DNF in the first moto, so let's see if he can hold on to that good start that he has in this moto.
That's true. He was a solid 4th when the engine let go in Calgary, so we know he's a top 5 guy. Great style. There is Moffenbauer, a little mired back. He got by the 444 of Cresson. Now here's the start. Benoit times it perfectly, gets a nice jump through the right-hander. Pretty clean there. Dakota's back a bit. worked quickly up to the front.
Remember, there was some decision with the riders as to how they wanted to start it. Did they want to do the button hook or the big sweeper? I like the big sweeper. It's fast. They're both dangerous, Brian. This is a dangerous sport, but that's why these guys do it. To the 21 of Jerry Medaglia, sitting in 4th place right now, working up on Knotted through that EBC corner. This part of the track is modified slightly from last year. And Brian, remember the rain we had, torrential rain, a lot of mud. The track is really nice compared to that last year.
Oh, last year was just a sloppy, dripping, horrible Regina, and this is just fantastic. We've dodged a little bit of a bullet with the radar and the rain, bypassing the north part of the track, but anything's possible here. Jeremy Medaglia now making a move on the outside of Knotted. I like the way he bounces off the edge of the track here in the GP off camber. Oh. Jeremy's aggressive.
Absolutely beautiful. And Knotted actually went for the Dakotas line. Medaglia goes outside to inside, makes that pass. Remember, Medaglia won the Moto here last year. We only ran one Moto, and he took his first win of the season. So I know he likes this track.
Holy smokes, Knotted made a great move up on the outside on the ledge of the track. The track's kind of dug in there, so there's some little banked wall. Oh, no! Oh! Knotted goes down. That's a pretty fast section. It's no wonder he's a little slow getting up.
Well, this track is slick in areas because there's a little bit of clay, especially in this valley section, so there's no question that there are slippery parts of the track.
Yeah, definitely. I think Knotted figured Berger was on the outside, so he clicks out, lands, totally muffs it up. Gets it all wrong and just samples hard. Berger lucky to get through there unscathed.
Benoit on the lead, Dakotas in second, back to 4th place. This is Berger, high side in the Yamaha corner, and here comes Little Muff up the hill, huge launcher into 4th place.
Nice for the local boy Moffenbauer, and yes, Trav, huge jumps, especially for these MX2 250 motocross bikes. They have to just wind them out to make the downside. Oh. Big ski jump up there, no problem at all. Look at the lead Benoit has amassed. Now Jeremy in 3rd has got the local hero hot on his fender. The Moffenbauer machine is moving up.
These guys have been getting together in almost every single moto, Brian, and we have seen some very aggressive riding between those two. Savage, we saw him in 5th place, moving back to the 444 of Crescent. He's been ultra quick, just outside of the top 5. Like to see that kid out here racing.
Yeah, Crescent, that is the rider that Rarick rear-ended off the start. So Rarick with a mid full of throttle going down, so he is working his way back up the pack. Now Jeremy is under pressure from the 14. Jer is a great racer. Wow, I thought Jer would have taken him high. A little bobble there. A lot of deep ruts on this track, so there's not a lot of room to float around. You have to be really precise, and this dirt is very unforgiving, so if it grabs your wheel, it's going to pitch you off.
Without a doubt, and Jeremy had that inside line, which he used last time to pass Knotted, so I think he was pretty comfortable in that, but Moffenbauer's carrying so much speed. He knows this track. He knows the way the corners sit up into the Dunlop Blair Morgan corner, one of my favorite corners on the track, Brian. Look at the number 9 of Morgan Berger. We just can't talk enough about how great he's riding in this class.
His style is so smooth. We see Berger, he's not always right up in the mix, but this day is his. He's got that cool gold and black strict gear on. He's being helped up on mountain cycles and sled in Alberta, and this kid is smooth.
To our 2nd place rider, the number 105 of Jimmy Dakotas, about 2 or 3 seconds back from our leader, the number 1 Kevin Benoit. Down in the bottom of the MXP Valley here, Moffenbauer in 3rd place. Beautiful. Let's check it. There goes. Oh, and here comes Savage in 5th.
Savage really making up for lost time with that camera in the valley. You can really see and feel the speed that these guys are approaching out of the GP section. I love this part of the racetrack off camber up on the inside. Guys swing wide. Lots of passing opportunities. No one can complain about one line, no passing here. There's one good line on every racetrack, but lots of options here in Regina.
Berger with an issue off the launcher. Savage gets the drive, and yes, coming up through that Motul Valley, Savage makes the pass and moves into 4th. Love it. Brian, back to the battle for 8th place. The number 20 of Dylan Wright has got his hands full. Oh, that's the 39 of Pettis. And then number 153 of Gallup. We saw him off the start, so he's hanging inside the top 10. Not a great start, though, for the number 20, Wright.
Yeah, Gallup is right in there. Wright having a difficult time coming to terms with this soil. And like we mentioned earlier, it is very tacky, and you can crash easy.
Savage moving up. Oh, look at that. Jeremy goes down on the inside. Left-hander in the drift corner. That's the same corner that Rarick went down in. Seemingly simple part of the track, Brian, but tricky altogether.
We talked about easy to crash. Bam, Jeremy goes down. This is terrible. Finally gets it fired up. He's losing a ton of ground. There goes Kreslin. He's not going to be happy about that 444 Yamaha in front of him, and Jer's going to be just tweaked right now. You can bet he's going to be angry, which means fast lap times.
Jeremy was in 3rd place when we went down. Now he's in 7th place. He's in attack mode. Beautiful left-hander through that Marin corner. Great style, Brian.
Yeah, definitely getting the power down here. He's making the move right now on the U.S. rider, Kreslin, through that Moto van corner, high speed down into the ski jump. Kreslin not lying down, side by side, Travis. This track offers so much excitement, not only for the riders, but the spectators. Into the GP, inside, outside they go. Jer's gonna want to stamp it this time, because once you pass someone, you want to ride away and gap them. You don't want to have them stick a wheel in again and pass you back.
The one thing I'd say about the track today, Brian, the ruts aren't as deep as I thought they were going to get, but it's really choppy. So you're seeing those areas where riders are normally flowing and they're not going as fast. To Dakota's coming up to get his last lap flag.
It's choppy and unforgiving. So if you get out of that chop and it crosses you up, it beats you up as a rider. And you have to have your suspension set up to handle the big hits on this track, but supple enough to handle that little chop. So these guys are getting pinballed around quite a bit out here.
The two-stroke of Kevin Benoit obviously working so nicely. Royal Distributing and Foxy looks spectacular out there running the red plate for a reason, Brian, winning another moto.
JSR and the boys have got a great team over at KTM. An 18-second lead, Travis.
Absolute beauty for Benoit. Let's get to our Yamaha leaderboard. Top 10, first MX2 moto. Let's go down to Savage in 4th, Berger, Medallia, Crescent, Gallup, Jess Pettis, and Dylan Wright rounding out the top 10. Hey, is that Rockstar Christie in the impound?
Number 1, Kevin Benoit. You got that number 1 for a reason, man. What a start, and you just checked out and decimated the field. Almost 20-second lead at the end. You put a clinic on out there.
Yeah, I had so much fun out there. I gotta thank Joe at SSS Suspension. I felt like on a cloud out there. I mean, my bike was so smooth. Suspension was working awesome, and yeah, I got the two-stroke working for the whole shot too, and got out front and had a solid race. I'm really happy.
105, Canada's motorcycle FXR rider Jimmy Dakota, 2nd place. What do you got to do to beat Benoit on this Canadian circuit?
I gotta not let him get away. I mean, I think if we were all in 4 strokes, it'd be a little bit even playing field. I think the 2 strokes definitely a little bit of advantage out there, but it is what it is, and this is the rules, and we got to deal with it. So I think if I change some stuff in my technique, and I'm gonna make a couple adjustments on the bike, and we're just gonna go back and just rest and just get ready for Moto 2. I think I can possibly win this next Moto. I just got to put my head down and really focus on this moto and my lines, and I think it'll all come to me.
Oh, great first MX2 moto here in Regina. Great crowd as well. Second MX2 coming up. This is Regina's Moto Valley Raceway in the 2015 Rockstar Energy Drink Motocross Nationals. Mark Travers and Brian Coster in the booth as we get set for MX2 Moto 2, which will be brought to you by Max Convenience Stores. My favorite place to get ice-cold Rockstar, jug milk, all the goodies.
Great stuff to stop on your way to the practice track, going riding, going racing. Load up the cooler, load up the box, get yourself to the track. Ice-cold Rockstar, always good when you're at the MX circuit.
Christie having a hard time with that 30 board, a little windy, and there's a couple of empty gates for this second MX2 moto. Sometimes you don't get a full gate in the second MX2 moto. That's exactly it. Moffenbauer on the inside, and a couple of our big names have lined out on the wide side, Brian.
Yeah.
Seeing if they can get a real fast start on the outside. Go to the splitter. We got Blake Savage on the wide side, Moffenbauer on the inside. Looks like Medallia's got a great jump off the gate, Brian. Drift action cam. Look at Jeremy Medallia. Go for Dudes Honda, grabbing that Royal Distributing hose. Yeah.
What a start for Savage. The Coits right there on the outside. So the 3 guys in the top 3 all started from the outside. Unbelievable. Love it, Blake Savage. Devil's Lake MX rider sitting 3rd. Dakota's on that Canada's motorcycle FXR Yamaha through the EBC corner, paddling along through there. But it's Jeremy Medallia, winner last year, out front.
With Motocross in fourth place, Brian, it didn't really matter with the start because he had a great jump on the inside, so both ends working well. Into the Moto van sweeper, you see how choppy it is. We talked about it after the first Moto. Benoit right now in fourth place, he won the first Moto.
And did you just see Dakotas laying down on the seat tank, his back leg dragged way out? He was almost 3 sheets to the wind, but he got back onto the handling bars down into the GP section. He loves to bounce off these ledges. Look at him carrying wide with Jer out front. Trav, some great battling in between the top 2 here.
Right now the battle is for third place. Benoit goes inside as we go back on board with Savage. Great line for the number 1 of Kevin Benoit. That puts him in third place. Savage fourth, and Little Muff is just on the outside. But Savage has got a nice line coming in this launcher as we go down into this Motul Valley. Oh, there's Little Muff. Went outside to inside. Brian makes the pass, and now he's in fourth.
You can see Savage came up short and bounced, so now Berger on the inside after that little tiny mistake by Savage, and here they are battling tooth and nail. Berger and Savage, these 2 riders have been finding themselves lately.
The images on the Drift Action Cam show that the soil here is absolutely spectacular, Brian. Tons and tons of traction, maybe sometimes too much.
Exactly, these things wheelie out of the corners. Here's a replay of the start. Jeremy just sweeping through over the white line. Dakotas on the outside, but I like your comment earlier that Moffenbauer able to get up in that top 5 from the very opposite inside gate pick. So you can get good starts from anywhere here.
I think you can too, because the start is so long and a nice sweeper, so you can really get on the gas, carry speed into that first corner. We're seeing the number 1 of Kevin Benoit in third place, Dakotas in second, Medallion in first. There's Little Muff back on board with Savage to that valley part of the track, Brian, coming up into one of my favorite parts of that track. They drop down here and then head up. Oh, the number 1 Kevin Benoit had slid out, Brian. He was in third place. Berger gets ahead of Savage. Things are askew up into the Blair Morgan Dunlop corner.
Oh my goodness, so this is big news for, no. Pettis has nowhere to go. This is getting from bad to worse here for Benoit as he jumps on his bike and kickstarts. You know, these 2-stroke tracks, they usually fire up a kick or 2, and there he goes, but he just lost a plethora of positions. He fought real hard for that third. Now he's playing catch-up.
And remember, Benoit won the first Moto, and he's got that red plate because he's leading the series in points. That puts him way back to the battle for the lead. This is going to be a nice one, Brian. The 21 of Jerry Medallia and the 105 of Jimmy Dakotas. Now, Medallia hasn't won a Moto so far this season. Jimmy Dakotas has won a bunch.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a nice little contest.
I've been waiting for Jeremy to win one all year, and he hasn't done it. He's got a bunch of seconds, thirds. Dakotas, on the other hand, super aggressive. Dakotas on the outside, getting jostled. We know how easy it is to high side and eat dirt back there. Jerry also a very good defensive rider. So if Jeremy puts his mind to it, I think he can really make life difficult for Dakotas.
Coming out of the GP section, Dakotas goes off track there, Brian. That was that one part where you like to say he hops, skips, and jumps through parts of the track. He lost it on that one and bounced outside of that FXR corner. The number 1 of Kevin Benoit back in the race. Looks like he's going to go inside on the number 39 of Jess Pettis. That's the rider that took him down the second time. So Benoit making some moves.
Yeah, but it's there. He's getting faster and faster every weekend. A great young man. Riding Cowie so long, now back on Yama, down through the mechanics area. This is a couple laps now. Dakotas can't get around them. Suspensions are getting hot. You can see these riders really getting up into the pocket of the front end, into the corners, and then leaning back. And like you said, tons of traction. So these things just really just and on the clutch, you really gotta have your feel just right.
Super choppy coming out of that Moto van sweep. Remember a couple of years back, Doug DeHaan crashed 2 times in the same day in the same spot on that sweeper, so it is difficult. Now Dakotas has the inside line of Medallia. Let's see what happens with Jeremy as he comes out of this Euro section, because now, and he hops out of the same line that Dakotas had the last lap. Dakotas in the lead. Jeremy bouncing back through the Honda corner. Brian, what great action.
Jeremy on the inside. Now, did you see that? Acceleration for Jeremy right through there. He just got it perfect in that rut. Dakotas going wide. When you go wide, you get a lot easier launch here to down downside, you can see Jer really using body English to get that front end down onto the downside, avoid that hop. You see what happened to Savage. He got that hop and he lost 2 positions.
Back to the battle for 4th place, Savage and Berger. Berger was ahead of Savage. Now Savage has made the move on Berg. Oh, that sand section right there,
Yeah.
Brian, that left-hander is ultra difficult, really wide, a lot of options, but it's very slippery.
You see the guys fishtailing through there, and that's one of those corners where you can get overconfident and just pin it and end up spinning out or low sliding. So there is a lot going on here in acute Regina.
Berger goes inside through the Zox corner, Brian, and gets ahead. These 2 riders have been finding themselves in almost every single moto. I love how that happens in these classes.
Yeah, Berger, quite a character. He's from Boise, Idaho. He's got the Barnett family helping him out as well. His dad's up here this weekend, and it's always a nice little place to go hang out over at their campfire.
How about the 803 Husqvarna, Marcus Nilsson, all the way from Florida, who goes inside on the number 20 of Dylan Wright. You talked about him not liking the soil or coming to terms with the soil here. Back to our lead, the 21 of Jerry Medallia and the 105. Oh, the Coates gets hung up in the Cowie corner. Brian, you saw that one coming, front wheel out of the rut.
Well, the little ripper was just ripping a little too hard there, pushing for that victory. And just a slight miscalculation, down he goes. It happened to Jer in the first one, so a little tit for tat. This gives Jeremy a good advantage now. This could be the moto he wins, and now Moffenmeyer senses a weakness in Dakotas.
Well, you're right, Brian, because the measure of a good rider is to be in the lead and hold the lead to the checkered flags. A lot of times that does not happen. Checking back to our battle for 2nd place, coming out of the valley, Dakotas in 2nd, Moffenmeyer in 3rd. Really happy with the way this track is set up, and for the fans here getting to see some good racing today.
Yeah, and the fans putting up with last year's gooey mess, coming back and supporting the event. It's great to have them here. The battle for 7th is heating up for sure out this back Rockstar straightaway. The furthest point away from the fans, it is Crescent and Nodditt, 2 American pilots going at it. Nodditt getting a bit of a second wind here towards the end of this moto.
Brian, noticing a lot of the riders hesitating coming into those difficult corners on this track. It really is quite technical, even though it looks quite flat in area.
100%, and tire pressures in these kinds of conditions also make a big difference, believe it or not. And suspension settings, just a click here, a click there, can make all the difference on the comfort of the rider. And you can just see what a mess it is coming into these turns. You look from a few feet away where our cameras are positioned, and it doesn't look so bad, but when you get behind the goggles of these riders and you see it's pretty gross out there coming into the corners. Track is great, but it's difficult.
The number 1 of Kevin Benoit getting his last lap flag. He's made it all the way up to 6th place, so he salvaged a lot of points, Brian, to our leader, the 21 of Jerry Medallia, Gopher Dunes, Troy Designs Honda. Boy, he's been spectacular. He got the whole shot. He fended off a bunch of attacks from Dakotas, and now he comes in and gets the checker flag in his first win of the season. That's going to put him in the top 3 overall for the day, Brian. Podium's next. In the impound, 2nd MX2 Moto. Great way to finish off the day here at Moto Valley Raceway, Brian. Moffenmeyer, the homeboy, Dakotas, and Medaglia. Why don't you hit that top 10?
Yeah, the leaderboard here brought to you by Yamaha. We know our top 3, Morgan Berger and Savage. A great race for 4th and 5th. Benoit goes down again for 6th. Nodditt, Crescent, Rarick salvages 9th as Jess Pettis 10th.
Yeah, it all started with a hole shot. I tried to go on the outside and ripped a big good start, and after that I just tried to put my head down. Jamie got close to me, made a pass, I got back by him, and then just made sure I put my head down.
3-3 on the day for the number 14, Sean Moffenmeyer, in his home province race. Sean, you look great out there today. Tough lines in that 2nd moto after the rain that we had this morning, but real nice, solid race for you.
Yeah, totally. The track was an obstacle today, and we were all fighting it a little bit, I think. It was different from one side to the other, so it was huge for me to come out here in my hometown. I got a great start with the Pirellis that 2nd moto, and you know, just held on to 3rd there and rode my own race, so it was good.
Nice moto, little muster. 4 of 10 are in the books. Benoit's pulling out a little bit. Medallia and Dakotas got a war. Moffenmeyer's right in there. Berger, Nodditt. Look at Savage, Wright, Pettis, and Rarick. They're close.
A great day of racing here at the Moto Valley Raceway as we close off the West. Hey, race fans, don't forget to like us on Facebook and check out MXnationals.ca for all of the action. You have been watching the 2015 Rockstar Energy Drink Motocross Nationals, presented by Motovan.com, Canada's source for power sports, parts, and accessories. Special thanks to the Regina Motocross Club and the whole Murphy family for all of their hospitality. There's your top 3 in MX2. It's been a great day. We'll see you in the East.